My guest today is celebrating her first Tony Award nomination for her hilarious high-belting performance in The Mystery of Edwin Drood, which already earned her a Broadway.com Audience Choice Award for Favorite Diva Performance. Please welcome Stephanie J. Block.
Hello, Paul.
Welcome, and thank you for wearing an outfit that so beautifully matches our set.
Can you believe? I tried to do that. I'm giving you a little sparkle, a little blue, and I want people just to take a hot second and look at these summer shoes. Okay.
There's a good shoe. Yeah, we don't have a shoe cam, but we have a shoe shot. And you're giving me a little anything goes anchor.
Yes. That's actually when I got this sweet little shirt, and I wore it for our closing day, and it hasn't been out until today.
And the sparkles remind me of you as Liza. Sparkles and eyelashes.
I guess
that was very memorable.
Speaking of eyelashes, you know when I did Liza, they went through like massive changes with the eyelashes.
Oh,
and
really?
At one point,
was there an eyelash designer?
No, but when I came in, there was about 20 different versions, and then there was one preview where I wore cardboard cutouts. They literally had black construction paper that they cut out and made me wear because just no lashes seemed to be big enough.
It looked like that from the audience.
It was very heavy, and I had trouble seeing my fellow co-stars. That was a disaster.
That was the first of many performances that probably deserved a Tony nomination.
Come on, thanks.
But here we are, and you got one.
I got one.
You are a Tony nominee.
Thank you.
Are you still, is it like a spa treatment? Are you still basking in the glow of...
You know what? I'm basking. However, I think my feet are definitely on the ground because I've been around for a long time. I'm sucking in every second. However, I'm expecting nothing. I just show up, I hug my friends, I listen to great speeches, and try to enjoy the time as opposed to getting anxious and nervous about making speeches, about what are people going to expect. I'm just showing up and enjoying the ride, really.
And the nice thing is, your show closed, what last, like
March.
March.
Yeah,
March.
so we're like 2 months in.
Right. So so now you're sort of able to, you're not in a show right now, so you're able to actually take in, you're taking in the moment.
Yeah, I'm not rushing from a matinee, still being a little sticky and sweaty. I get to shower and smell good. And but, you know, work is work. Would I be lying to say I'd still love to be doing Drood and, you know, doing it 8 times a week?
Yeah.
I do miss it.
So how are all the fancy events? I mean...
Fancy events are awesome.
Yeah.
And like I had no idea when the nominations came in on Tuesday morning. That I, of course, had an idea it was happening. But I didn't know that it was the very next morning that you do the Meet the Nominees. Right. Yeah. So that kind of was a jarring moment because I was in Baltimore and thought, I got to get back on a train and get back to New York in order to do that. And then, you know, you pick the outfit, you call the person going, I need you to cover my bags and I need someone to do my hair. And so it's been a lot of that, more than I'm ever used to, because as you can tell, I'm kind of the girl that doesn't necessarily put product in her hair and, you know, I do like my sparkles. However, having a hair and makeup person all the time just isn't necessarily me. So it's been happening a lot.
It'd be foolish if I didn't acknowledge that Broadway.com readers voted you their Tony dream date.
Come on.
That if they were going to attend the Tonys with somebody,
to say thank you. Is it here?
You can look wherever you want.
Thank you.
How about that?
I know.
Dream date.
I think I enjoy, you know, the people at the stage door and the fans and the loved ones, and I think they recognize that I do actually take the time not only to say hello, but I learn their names, I know where they're going to college, I know who they're married to. And
how do you keep track of all that? I can't remember 5 people's names.
You know, I don't know. As soon as I see a face, I literally will know what they're majoring in college or what their daughter's name is or if they came from Hawaii. Or I'm not always great with names, but the details I'm pretty good at.
Wow. Now, you actually have your own dream day. Your husband actually tweeted, wow, this is great. I am going with the Tony dream day. How about that?
Yep, and he would be my dream date for sure. He's the dreamiest.
How is your family reacting to all this?
My family's great. My father wept, and so I still have saved that message because it's Stephen James Block. See where the J comes from? He's a Stephen J. Block.
There's a lot of J. Doesn't your sister have a middle
We're all
J?
James. I'm Stephanie J. My sister's Renee J.
Okay.
My father is Stephen J. And my mother she's Italian. They don't do middle names. But my father wept, which was very special to me. I think he has just seen my sacrifice, and because I've been doing this since I was 11 years old, and he just kind of felt like she's made it. My mother's extraordinarily proud, but I think she still wants me to be an attorney. She feels like my acting skills would be really great in a courtroom.
Make some real money with those acting skills.
Right. That's right. And everybody else, it's just so great because, like I said, I've been doing this since I was 11. So anybody who's been with with me in the High School of the Arts or regional theater, community theater,
Yeah.
they all came out of the woodwork and were cheering me on from literally my Disneyland days. So I
Yeah.
got about 200 different messages from
Wow.
performers and friends that are like, you did it, you finally did it.
Yeah. What about the pretty daughter, Renee?
Renee,
Side by side by Susan Blackwell, you talked about the pretty daughter.
She is beautiful. My sister's beautiful. She woke up with her daughter, who is 18, and now Kayla Marie, who I adore, and who is also looking to get into musical theater. And they woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning in California and
Right.
watched the Tony telecast live with
Awesome.
Sutton and Jesse announcing everybody. So they were there, and actually, other than my agent giving me a call, my sister was the second phone call.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're in a great category. Some
Yep.
great ladies
Big, beautiful, great ladies.
on that list.
Yep.
So since you're not in a show right now, have you been able to see the performances in your category?
Pippin, I'm having trouble getting tickets
It's hard to
to.
get tickets to
Holy
Pippin.
mackerel. I called Terry Mann, and he was like, oh, baby doll, it's Tony time. I don't have tickets. I looked at Patina. I thought, do I bother her with this? And I thought, no. I called the press person. He was like, we can get you 2, but I'm going for 4. Because my best friend was like, if you see that show without me, I'm going to be pissed. So I need 4 tickets. So that's not going to happen until Tony night. Or after Tony night, I should say. I cannot get a ticket. But I, of course, have seen Cinderella. I missed Scandalous because
Yeah,
we
you were
were on the
working,
same
yeah.
show schedule.
Yeah.
And my buns have got to get to Motown. I got to get to Motown. Did I get everybody? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what about when you see the other ladies on the town? Do you?
It's love. I'm not kidding. I don't feel like there's major competition there. I
Yeah.
know I joked that I'm 12 when it comes to being competitive.
Right.
But that's like
On a scale of
playing,
1 to 10 at 12.
Honestly. But that's like Monopoly, or when we won at Schmackery's, actually, we won earning the most money for Broadway Cares
Who's
Equity
we?
Fights AIDS. Myself and Rob McClure. And
Oh, there were teams.
We had
It
teams.
was Broadway
and we were
Bakes,
the
Schmackery's.
Wednesday team. So
Okay.
knowing that Laura Osnes and Jeremy Jordan were the day before, we thought we had no chance. But again, the blockheads came out and they saved the day. So in that respect, I'm competitive. When it comes to something like this, I think it's just great support and great love because we all understand what it takes to do the work and to get to this sort of level of acknowledgement and being embraced by the community. So Laura and myself, we've planned a little dinner for the 5 of us
Nice.
tomorrow. So we're going to just sit down and all just be girls instead of having cameras and outfits. I'm sure I'll wear sparkles, but just be with each other and kind of get to know each other as women as opposed to competitors or girls in a certain category.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love
I
that
do
that's
too.
happening.
I do
I don't
too.
know if that happens very often.
Laura's pretty swell. All these girls are just really swell.
Yeah.
Really beautiful women. So
Yeah.
it's going to be great.
They've all sat in that chair, so you're the
They
missing
have?
you're the missing link.
I can feel the warmth of their buns. It's vibrating through
a
me.
lot of nominated lady buns on that chair. I think it'd be really fun if the 5 of you had to like do a belt off on stage or something. Like,
Oh, God.
well,
A
Carol,
belt off, I'd be in for. A riff off, like against Patina, I don't even want to be in there. A sweetness off,
Laura.
don't want to be against Laura. Sassiness, you know who I'm going to say. And just plain legendary. I mean, Carol Lee Carmelo, I can remember watching her sing Parade at the Tony
Oh, my
telecast.
God.
And I had
Amazing.
chills and I went, oh my gosh, I just have to get there. I have to get to New York and I have to get to the Tonys. So, each one I think embodies something very, very special.
Yeah.
But a belt off, yeah, I'd be in for that.
What are you wearing? Did you figure it out? Is it all
I
done?
do. Do you think I'm giving anything away? Well, you won't. There's no pictures or anything. I've been very lucky. Carolina Herrera sent over a handful of gowns.
Nice.
And so she'll be dressing me for the cocktail party and for the awards. And I love just saying her name. She's so, but she's kind of that New York designer.
Yeah.
You think Donna Karan, you think
Right.
Carolina Herrera.
Right.
And so that there's a great legacy that goes along with her design. So I feel like a lady and I feel very elegant wearing her gown. It's beautiful. So thank you very much.
It also occurred to me that you this year will be celebrating your 10-year anniversary on Broadway.
Yes, sir.
How
I
does
will.
how does one celebrate that?
Let's see, how
Boy
are
from
we
Oz
going to
opened 10
celebrate
years
that?
ago.
Probably auditioning and looking for another gig is how one celebrates that. Yeah, Boy from Oz happened. I really thought Wicked was going to be
Right.
my, debut, and
Right.
so Boy from Oz was such a surprise and such a really awesome way to kind of start this whole career. So I'm very, very lucky to say pretty consistently for the last 10 years I've been able to work on Broadway.
Obviously, you worked in 9 to 5 with Megan Hilty. Did you watch Smash? Did you stay up with the whole run of Smash?
Totally.
Did you see the Smash finale?
I did.
So I'm watching the Smash finale.
Yes.
And I'm watching Karen watch Ivy win the Tony for playing Marilyn Monroe, and I think of you.
You do?
I think of you.
Do you want
Is that a fair?
It is a fair assessment. I was not at the Tonys to watch Adina.
Right, you weren't actually
there. I came
there.
in, we performed the opening number, so I performed with Hugh in the opening number. I then left. I met my cast at a bar called Tonic, which I think is really just across the street from your offices.
Yeah.
And we watched, and sure enough, Adina was announced. She got up. By then I'm not a big drinker, so I think people think I'm a little tipsy all the time. That's not the case.
That's just your energy.
But that night I was, and you know, it was hard. I'm not even going to pretend. I mean, I am certainly glad that role and Adina was honored because it was worthy. The workload is worthy. Right. What Adina did with the role and for the role was worthy. Right. However, you've got to envision yourself when you've been attached to a piece for that long, and I certainly felt a great connection with the role and the show. So I was tipsy, and I'm sure I was saying things at the bar that...
Did you get tipsier after that moment? Did it just keep going down?
It did. It kept going down, but I had company members and loved ones that took care of me and would be like, stop talking, just stop saying words. You do not want to be saying this in public. Of course, nothing was personal to Adina. It just was like, what is going on? Why isn't that me? But then, you know, in retrospect, you always look back and say, that's why it wasn't me. You know what I mean? There's a reason, a time, and a place for everything. And when you're in the moment, you never see the reason. But looking back, you go, that wasn't supposed to be me, because I was supposed to go on tour, because I was supposed to meet Sebastian, where I was supposed to, and your life starts to unfold.
Yeah. And look at you now.
And look at me now.
It's a good place now to talk about that moment.
Exactly
but it's
right.
funny because when I was watching it, I thought of you.
Yeah. And how good was Megan when she gave her acceptance speech? Like, it felt like not a scripted moment. It felt so real.
Megan kind of nailed that entire series.
She's kind of delicious.
She was amazing.
I just think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what she does next. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, whatever it is.
It's gonna be real good.
What occurred to me when I saw that is, you know, there's no handbook for how to do any of this. You know what I mean? For how to be in show business, for how to be an actress, for how to, you know, these ups and downs of, you know, having a role in something and then not having the role in something.
Nope.
So it makes me wonder what, you must be so wise now, having gone through all of this. And, and you're right, and there have been, you know, and there's shows like The Pirate Queen, another great performance. Weren't you like hanging from, my memory of The Pirate Queen is you like hanging and climbing, and that wasn't a stunt double.
No, I'm
that
still
was
tired.
Stephanie J.
I'm
Block.
still tired from The Pirate Queen. When I literally look back and go, what did I do? Even before rehearsal started, I remember being in fencing class, and I had a personal trainer 4 times a week, and the sort of preparation that happened before the rehearsals. And then when I got into rehearsals, and the sort of just endurance that it took, not only vocally, which you'd have to maintain any sort of leading role on Broadway, but the physicality of it, the emotional aspect of it. It was one of those roles that when you read the script, you're like, oh, good, I'm on every page, I sing every song, I'm fighting with a sword, I'm propelling down 30 feet from the proscenium, I set my father on fire, I give birth on stage. You know, I age 70 years. This is remarkable. And truly, like 3 months into it, I thought, how am I going to do one more show? And you find it. You know, you always find the energy before the curtain comes up. But it was exhausting, and it proved to me that my training was good, one, and that no matter what other role whatever was next, I think I could do it, because it really prepared me for a lot. And it's so interesting to think that sort of workload and role wasn't recognized, and then you do something as fun and silly and wonderful. I mean, you know, by no means was Drood a small role. However, it was such a beautifully shared show between a true ensemble. And Pirate Queen, I felt like I was carrying that sucker on my back. that I recognize that, I think the community has been with me all along. And it's just when the time comes, and now happens to be the time. So you use the word wise, I use the word that I'm learning along the way, and I think I'm able to take it more in strides, whether it be accepting it with great joy or accepting it with disappointment, but a disappointment that isn't going to disable me for the next, 3 months or 5 months or however the case may be. You got to roll with the punches.
You've also done a lot of great things regionally that I've enjoyed on YouTube.
Thank you.
It is definitely possible to have like a very long Stephanie J. Black YouTube concert.
Well, when they're
at home.
recording that, like in the 90s, you think, well, that's fine, it's just going to be in somebody's house. And then when the internet and YouTube and all that stuff happened, and now it's showing up years and decades later,
so
some I'm very proud of, and some you go, oh God, please nobody watch that.
So which one do you want anyone to watch?
There is one that I'm mortified about, and it is a concert where I sing My Heart Will Go On, and somehow those words completely leave me, and I just start making crap up. I mean, I am just trying to say heart as many times, and open and follow, and near far is mentioned a lot, and nothing, I'm totally incomprehensible.
And that's available. People can.
That is available.
Can go, okay, look that, don't look that one up. Don't watch it.
I'm an idiot.
Which ones do you, if you were going to recommend Stephanie J. Block at home YouTube playlist concert?
Ooh, golly,
you know what I would put on there?
What?
Memory from Cats. Wow, you could sing that.
Thanks.
I love Cats.
That wig is atrocious. I'm sorry, wig designer over at the Muni. I can't remember your name. But there were many beautiful wigs. But that one, for some reason, just in the heat, kept growing. And literally, I looked more like a donkey than a cat. But I'm okay with the performance.
An old hooker donkey is just as moving as an old hooker cat.
Why not?
That works.
It's got 4 legs and a tail. They don't really lick themselves, but I'm sure in some farms,
But that was a good one. That's a good memory
I'm okay
rendition.
with that moment.
What do you like? Tell me what you like.
They're playing our song
when
I sing If You Remember Me, and Marvin Hamlish was very integral in that song being part of our performance as a part of I Still Believe is usually what's sung in that moment. And he said, I'd like you to try this one, and it worked out great. It sat great in my voice, and he kind of blessed that moment. So that one's really special to me. I think my final Defying Gravity is kind of special.
Okay. Thank God for those fans.
I haven't watched, it's hard to watch yourself because there's always something where you're like, oh, the double chin, or oh, the this, that, and the other. So it's really difficult to watch. But those 3, I have taken a peek, and I'm okay with those.
Stamp of approval.
Stamp of approval, that's right.
Let's talk about your dreamy husband, can we?
Yes, please.
That's a good topic, right?
Yes, please.
Sebastian. First of all, how do you say his name?
Sebastian Arcelus.
Arcelus.
That is right.
It's Arcelus, people.
That's right.
Say it right. He's filming House of Cards. I
Yes.
love, oh my God, the Netflix show House of Cards. I devoured it in one day when it came out.
You binge watched is what they call it.
I binge
you
watched
binged.
completely.
Yep.
It was like, and now he started season 2.
He is
That's
filming
exciting.
season 2. Yep.
And he's not far. He's down in Maryland,
in,
right?
Yeah, they do a lot of the work in Baltimore, and then of course there's some exterior shots and some filming that happens in D.C. since it's a political drama.
Right.
But he's fantastic on the series. It's very smart. It's beautifully written. It's beautifully performed, and he feels so lucky just to be a part of the series.
It's kind of dark and dirty. And
I know.
Kevin Spacey's creepy.
But his role, much like Sebastian, has got great ethos. It's got great integrity. He's kind of this really big-hearted, beautiful man that the girls want to fall in love with. So,
right. So you were on the road in Wicked.
Yes.
And he was Fiyero.
Yes.
And you said I want that one. What
This is a very long story, Paul. But in a nutshell, no. I mean, I was on the road with Wicked. It was the last, I think, 2 months or 6 weeks of my contract. He came in at the tail end. I thought he was handsome. I recognized that he was an extraordinary person. I thought he was extremely talented. But I was in a long, committed relationship of over 10 years at that time.
Oh, okay.
And so things were not going well with that relationship. I left the tour, and Sebastian continued on for another 10 months. So we certainly kept in touch. We certainly every now and then would go to dinner, if he was in town on a Monday or a Tuesday while the tour was finding another city. But no, we didn't really start dating until I left the tour. And they call them showmances. And
yeah, I love that
it
word.
kind of, it's a great word, but it felt trivial to us because
Right.
when we did start to date, we knew that we were done. It was just that easy. My mom always said, you're going to know when you know. And it sounds so simplistic and like, you got to give me more advice than that. But you know when you know. At least I did with Sebastian.
He says that he calls you his saving grace in a Broadway.com interview. That's sweet.
That almost makes me want to cry.
You can cry. I like that. I think that happens. That's like just such an amazing thing for someone to say.
Yeah. I guess the blessing is in this business, sometimes you can't find that balance of personal and professional.
Yeah.
And we were able to find it, and we know what a gift that is.
Yeah.
And he's just amazing.
It's amazing when I've seen other acting couples who actually can support each other and not have any sort of competitive.
Yeah, there's no competition.
Yeah.
I mean, if when one of us gets a role, there's certainly a dialogue as to what does this mean to our family?
Yeah.
How do we schedule this? When do I see you? How long is the commitment? You know, there's that, but there's no harumph, you got a role and I'm not going to be working for the next couple months. It's certainly shared, and sometimes it's welcomed. You know, if one has been working like mad, for example, I'll take Sebastian doing Elf. That
Wow,
role
yeah.
was
Major, yeah.
major. He
That's his
was
pirate
so tired. He was so tired, and I again wasn't working at that 3-4 month
Right.
period, and thank God, because I had to be there as his wife and kind of his partner, and you know, made sure he ate, make sure he had breakfast in the morning, and however I could help, I wanted to help him, and vice versa. So I see a lot of couples that do that for each other, and that's what's going to keep the people strong, and I think that's what's going to keep the couple and the marriage strong.
He also said that he would be willing to take off his career to have a baby.
Yeah.
And let you keep working, which is such an amazing thing for a man to say.
He really would. And I love him, and I think his intentions are all there. But when he catches a cold, he like most men, it's the end of the world. So I can't imagine him actually being pregnant and giving birth. So I'll go ahead and I'll take that duty for our family.
Do you want to have kids?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there like a plan? Is there like a roadmap?
Yesterday. It should have happened yesterday. So we're in the...
Did it happen yesterday?
No, it didn't. Don't I look good? What if I had 3 kids? Wouldn't that be fun? I'm going to start telling people I have 3 kids just so they can be like, oh my God, you look so good. No, we're still trying, but it's going to happen.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the Tony Awards.
Yes, we do.
Big event this week.
It's happening.
You're resting up. It's good to go.
There's kind of no resting. It's literally a daily thing where you're picking up the tickets, and then family members come in from town, and then you have to have dinner with the family members, and then you've got the dress fitting. And I know it all sounds like so silly, but it's at this week, it's all very important and special, and you want to really suck it in because you don't know when it's going to come around again. You'd like to think it may within a long-running career. I want to be doing this when I'm 60 or 70. But for now, I don't know if it's going to. So everything is really kind of monumental and special.
Speaking of 60 or 70, I know you said in the past that you were Mama Rose in high school. Is that a role that you would like to revisit?
Heck yeah.
That'd be
That would
pretty
be
awesome.
good. They'd be ready for another revival, like in, what, 10, 15, you think?
No, it seems like it happens every 2-3 years.
Well,
Maybe next
give me a
year.
little time. You think next year? Honestly?
Well, Patty always says she was too old to play it. So I don't know. You're supposed to have little kids, right?
Well, that's true.
I don't know.
I guess Mama Rose could absolutely be in
I
her
don't know.
late
I guess
30s,
I
early
think we think of
40s.
Mama Rose as being older than
You do.
You pull off the diva. You were also great in, by the way, Meet Vera Stark. Am I saying it right?
Oh my
what
gosh,
a diva.
I loved being a
Bitch,
part of that play.
was.
She was a good role.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very lucky. I get some good parts.
You're fun in those roles. Yeah, you got the diva award at the Broadway.com Awards.
Thank
and so
you.
There's a certain maybe you're good at that.
I hope I'm an accessible diva.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, the word diva has so many definitions and connotations that I hope it's not the one that's like, ooh, she's a diva. It's, she's a diva.
Right.
Does that even make sense?
It makes
and
sense
I'm
to
giving
me.
you like gang gestures, like I'm so urban. I'm a diva.
Well, I have to tell you, it's thrilling to see you nominated. You know,
Thank you.
there's every year there are certain people when they get their nomination, it's like, yes, okay,
Thank you.
yes, it happened.
And that's really lovely because the response has been that.
Yeah.
So I thank everybody for them being truly happy and feeling that way about this year's nominations. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So thrilled.
I adore you.
Everybody watch Stephanie J. Block on the Tony Awards Sunday night.
It's happening this weekend, Sunday night.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.